I'm now going to be meeting with Mary Bowling to talk about local SEO and local search topics around Knowledge Graph and local search. Hey, so I'm here with Mary. How you doing?
Doing great, Barry. It's very nice to meet you in person finally.
Yeah, I mean, after all these years, we finally meet. It's great. It's great. I'm meeting all these great people over the years, and it's really nice to meet you. So thanks for spending the time to do this video blog with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I'm doing this new video series, and I wanted people to learn more about you. Can you just tell people quickly about, your name, what you do, and stuff like that?
I'm Mary Bowling. I'm co-founder of Igniter Digital, which is a little boutique agency. I am one of the co-owners of Local U. We put on a lot of conferences to educate people on local search. And I also do some training and writing for Search Engine News.
Awesome. And you've been in the SEO industry since about 2003 when I kind of joined the SEO industry as well. So we have a little bit of history going back close to almost 20 years now, about 17 years, I think. Can you tell us what was like the big thing that was happening in 2003 that you remember of in the SEO space?
Oh, Florida Update.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And that was the big news. That was back when Google just tore apart the algorithm and rebuilt it.
Yeah, I think that was the first time the SEO industry stepped back and was like, oh my God, Google can make or break my business.
Right.
And how do we go ahead and think about, all right, diversify, do things the right way. And ever since then, in 2003, obviously people were still trying to game the business, trying to game SEO up until probably like Panda days, even today a little bit. But
there's some people still doing it.
People still doing it, but I think Panda kind of solved most of those issues. But it was fun back then. How would you compare, the 2003 to 2007 era compared to the past few years in your mind?
So in local search, which is what I have always been involved in before they even had a name for local search, back in 2003, we actually could put up a page with exact match keywords, optimize it, and have it rank in 2 or 3 days.
Right.
So it was really more of a game back then and less marketing.
Yes.
Less marketing, more SEO. The updates that Google's been doing have improved the algorithm. And especially in local search, they used to use some really funky proxies.
Right.
For example, the number of reviews you had helped you rank better, even if they were all terrible reviews.
Yes. You remember that Google Maps article in the New York Times or Wall Street Journal about how somebody was specifically mistreating their customers just to get lots of negative reviews, which would help them rank better in Google?
Right, and that's why he said he did it.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. But now the proxies that Google uses have gotten so much better.
Right.
And with the advent of the Knowledge Graph, that really started bringing local search into focus for Google.
For sure. But people would still even today consider local SEO, Google My Business, kind of the wild, wild west of SEO. Obviously, it's gotten a lot better, but comparing SEO to local SEO, you get a lot with way more than you can in the SEO space and local SEO.
And I think some of that is because Google understands that in the local space, there are a lot of small little tiny businesses with no formal marketing.
Right.
And that they want to be able to reward those businesses for being good businesses, not just for having good SEO.
All right, so you speak and share a lot of your knowledge over the years. I looked at your sheet. You probably spoke at dozens of conferences. You share a lot of information on forums, on social media. Why do you do that? Why do you spend so much time sharing?
So I have had several small businesses over the years. I just have a soft spot for small business owners. I realize the situation that they're in, their budget restraints, their time constraints, and that they really need to know, if I do this, it's going to help me, and it's not just another exercise in SEO.
Right. It's great. It's great to have people like you in the industry. There's so much. I think Rand was just showing in his keynote, there was 400,000 people with the title SEO in their keyword. And there's only a tiny percentage of those people that actually share as much as you do and share as much as certain people in the industry. So I appreciate, from the whole SEO community, we appreciate what you do. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I think that in local SEO, our community is much more sharing than SEO in general.
Definitely.
Because it's a smaller group of people.
For sure. I actually love going to the local SEO forums, like local search forums, even in Google My Business forums and Google, because it's just so much more active than the core SEO forums or even the pay-per-click forums and stuff like that. And it's I enjoy it. I don't consider myself a local SEO. I obviously cover it a lot. I write about it a lot, but it's really nice to see that community. So it's, again, let's talk a little bit about local search and knowledge graph. I think you're speaking about that at MozCon. Can you talk a little bit about that?
What I'm mostly speaking about at MozCon is how, your defense against what's happening with Google's SERP grab and trying to keep everybody on the SERPs is to build up your local brand.
Right.
To build up people's awareness of where you are, who you are, what you do, and your reputation, how well you do that and how you're regarded in your community. And I think that, in 2012, local search really started coming into focus with Google. It was able to put together people and relationships and things much more. Then just last year they announced, they've been working on it for a while and you could see evidence of it, but they announced that they were adding topical layers.
Right.
And I think that we as marketers need to think about those topical layers and make sure that we're satisfying all the requirements to be an authority in those topical layers that affect our business.
So migrating entity search or entity SEO topics with Google My Business and local search.
Right. And Google's, with Google My Business these days, Google's giving us so many more ways to feed information directly into it.
Right.
That if you're not doing that, you're crazy.
Right. Because back in the day, it was like they were trying to figure it out themselves by indexing Yelp or whatever local search engine was out there, and it just wasn't working because either data was incorrect. They were bringing data in from these mapping engines that were just completely outdated, Dun & Bradstreet and other things, and it was just off. And I think Google's done an amazing job of getting local businesses to actually send them data in a much more productive way. Even like, is your business open tomorrow because it's Veterans Day or whatever it might be?
Right, and they've gotten so they're actually pinging business owners and asking them for this information, trying to train them to keep giving them more up-to-date and accurate information.
Right, and even with the knowledge panel, it used to be like you have to go into like Wikidata and stuff like that to get your information, and now you can actually claim your knowledge panel, update information there, which is pretty useful, although it's kind of not perfect yet. What are your thoughts about, right now obviously the knowledge panel is key in local search.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts around, any tips or tricks around how businesses could maybe utilize that better, or what they're not doing from what you see from clients?
So I think that the two things that people aren't paying enough attention to, the services tab has been around for a while, the product, it's now available to everybody, the product is now available to everybody, and I think the more effort you put into adding things to that knowledge that Google, feeding that knowledge directly to Google, the more reward you're going to see from Google from that. For example, we had a HVAC client that we put in his brand products, his Train line of products, and we could see within a month that he was starting to get more and more searches or more and more clicks from brand searches.
There's also the theory around people not wanting to give Google too much information because then Google will keep those users and not send them to you. But I think in the local space, it's not that much of an issue because you want that phone call. You want that.
Exactly. It's always been hard to measure success in local search from what was happening online. You measure local success by what's happening at your business.
Right.
And now Google has given us ways to be able to measure that a lot better.
For sure. Cool. Well, I appreciate your time. Where can more people here learn about you, follow you for more information?
Local U, or Igniter Digital, or Search Engine News.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Barry. It's great meeting you.
Same here. This is why I love the local SEO community. People like Mary and other people who just share so much of their knowledge. It was great me talking to her and learning from her. I'm looking forward to speaking to other local SEOs at MozCon.